Hello, nice to meet you. I'm Chae Song, and I'll talk about uh, mm, the Trump's personalities uh, characteristic and COVID-19. And first, I would like to talk about his denial of responsibility. Refusing to acknowledge reality or take responsibilities, the narcissist go-to reaction to problems. Trump was impulse to disregard calls for pandemic preparedness began as soon as he entered office when the administration shelved a National Security Council plan for fighting pandemics and then proceeded to get the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention and eliminate the position of U.S. Global Health Director. This January, U.S. Intelligence reports warned of novel coronavirus global threat. By February, the World Health Organization had declared the virus a public health emergency of international concern, and confirmed cases were rise in the United States. But week after week, Trump ignored calls for strong governmental response and instead offered up magical thinking, saying by terms that it was very well under control. It would miraculously go away and cure was on its way. When asked March 13 about his administration's failure to provide timely and reliable coronavirus testing, he said, "Yeah, though I don't take responsibility at all." And second, Trump's arrogant superiority. Narcissists sport their precautionary inflated personal with the assertions of superiority that can become dangerous as they are absurd. Trump's arrogance manifests in a flagrant disregard for facts, expect opinions, and scientific institutions and protocols. Case in point is his administration's disastrous series of missteps around the coronavirus testing. In February, while the World Health Organization was shipping tests to nearly 60 countries worldwide, the administration declined the assistance and opted to create its own test. Initial American-made test proved both fault and hard to come by, creating widespread confusion and misinformation at a time when early containment was critical. But rather than thinking quick action to rectify the problem and streamline large-scale production of a reliable test for nationwide use, Trump falsely told the reporters, "Anybody that needs a test gets a test. They were there. They have the test, and the tests are beautiful." And I think that the perfect Trump's perfect defense. I think that Trump's ego defense mechanism is not good, and he's a narcissist, so he always defends his position and his interest, so it's not good. And I'm worried about his scapegoating. The need to deflect responsibility and criticism means the narcissistic personality requires a scapegoat to blame when problems arise. Listen to police for more federal help from governors of hard-hit states have triggered Trump's narcissistic raids and made them the target to punitive threats and smear campaigns. Trump has called the Washington Governor Jay Inslee a snake and failed the presidential candidate who is always complaining. He has repeatedly emphasized the Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer's gender while calling her inept and saying all she does is sit there and blame the federal government, and reacting to New York Governor Andrew Cuomo's request for 30,000 uh, ventilators. Trump said, I don't believe you need 40,000 or 30,000 ventilators, and further insinuated that NYC hospital staff are taking supplies out the back door. Five, Trump wants need for admired attention because narcissists lack self-esteem. They rely on external sources to bolster themselves, like all the extreme narcissist. Trump's singular concern at all times is leveling situations to prop up his ego. This is why, in the current absence of his self-aggrandizing campaign rallies, he has touted his coronavirus press conference at ratings hits while downplaying surging U.S. COVID-19 deaths and ruthless self-interest. I think that Trump, his own agenda comes first before country, and that agenda is getting re-elected. The phase to re-election at one point seemed relatively simple: a strong economy and ceaseless campaigning. But the pandemic changed all that. Initially, pressing Americans to get back to business as usual by mid-April, a stunningly unrealistic and reckless proposition. Trump is now confronted with a spiking deaths, communities overwhelmed by outbreaks, and sober projections by leading doctors and economists. His response, rewriting history with the ongoing claims that the pandemic was unforeseeable. Uh, uh, so I think that Trump will give the threats about COVID-19. I think that you are not a psychologist. If you are not a psychologist, but we can know that President Trump's situation of inner being, and he will he will do many bad things. It is too late to prevent Trump's paralyzing cost to pandemic prevention and protection. We should be careful, and we should pray for him and America and the world, and world's solidarity and world's effort. I want the world to be very happy against the COVID-19. Thank you very much for listening my word.